how we can use data types in Python. To use data types in Python, you don't need to import any statements. You can just start writing your code and it will take care itself. For example, now I have not imported anything. I have just opened a new Python notebook which has nothing but just one simple cell which just tells this particular information and nothing. And so I can also share you this particular file and you can take a look at it once you start practicing. So now let's start with data types. Okay, so there are 5 categories, I would say, in data type for different types of categories. For example, there can be a numeric data types, dictionary format, boolean, and set and sequence type. And you can see the hierarchy for each and every categories. So let's start with the integer, like how you can define an integer. So for example, let's start with ABC is integer. So in this way you can define an integer. Defining an integer or defining with a variable is one and only the same thing. You are just defining the int variable, and to see the type of this particular variable you just have to write type, and here you see it says integer type. And this way this particular 1 to 3 value is stored in this ABC named variable. For example, if I can print out ABC, you can see the value of ABC, that is 1 to 3. This way we can define variables. And now let's start with complex numbers. So what is complex numbers? Complex number is imaginary number plus the real numbers. So let us define imaginary numbers and real numbers here. So this is my real number, whereas y is my imaginary number, that is minus something. You execute this. Now I will store a variable named z, and I will calculate the complex number of this z with these values. You can see you can define a complex number with this help of complex function in Python. So to see what you can pass into this particular function, you can always use shortcuts for Jupyter Notebook, and those shortcut is just to click in between the opening braces for that particular function, and most preferably you should click as soon as the opening braces is opened, the brackets are open, and then hit shift plus tab for getting this particular UI, and you can see all the definition that is defined for this particular function, the documentation for that particular function. And we will see this in much more future, in much more advanced way, in complex functions which we really don't know what we can pass into, and just we can use this particular feature to see what examples the documentation tells, and accordingly we can use it to our advantage. For example, you can pass these values as well, like here I can pass x and y. So in this way you are just passing parameters, like you're telling this is x and this is y. You can interchange the positions as well, but if you are not defining these positionings, then the results will be different. For example, now the result for the z is this. Now I will define same thing with different method. We'll take some z new, and same thing. I will pass y and x. Now I will print x and z new. You can see the difference because I defined y first and I passed y first and x later on. So this is positional arguments. Because you are not defining what particular arguments you are passing, it will consider the positions of that particular arguments, how it was defined in that particular function. For example, in complex, when it was defined, the first position is real. If you don't pass the real name, then it will always consider the first parameter as a real. Same goes for the imaginary numbers. And make sure that uh, while defining a function, we will look into it later on, but keep this in mind that whenever you're defining a function and whenever you're calling the function, one thing to note down is that the functions should be position matters. And for example, in this case, or in whatever the case you are building, you can only pass positional arguments, and then you can pass the non-positional arguments, or I could put it in this way, like these values are in this particular function are defined as 0 if you are not passing those values. These are the default values. Okay, you cannot pass these arguments later on in your code. You have to pass first default parameters, or vice versa. We will get to this particular stage when we are watching this closely. So now let's define float. Now float is what? Some digits with some point repeating values. Those are repeating values after decimal points, and this is how you define float. So it's nothing but type, you can see, for this particular variable, that is float, and same we can see the type for z, and it says complex, so and so forth. You can define float, and let's try this. So you can define any variables as this. Okay, like it will convert normal integers into the floating value with, you can see the precedings with 0.0, sorry, ending with 0.0. And now going forward, we will look what is dictionary. So dictionary is a bit standard in front end and all, where you pass an object which is a JSON format or it is a dictionary format. So everything relates to key and value, means all the concept behind dictionary, object, and JSON is using key and values. So you have key and you have related values associated to that key. For example, how can we define dictionary? This is empty dictionary. So as soon as you print that particular variable, you don't find anything in that, because I have not defined anything within those dictionary. So let's define a dictionary, and I will define it as name Rushikesh. This should be in colon, in inverted commas, age, consider 23, and now I will print this particular dictionary. You can see that entire dictionary over here. And to access dictionaries, we can access either by name or the positions. No, not by position. Okay, and age and you can see you can access and those values via the name, the keys in this case. Now I am going to set something to this particular age, and consider my age is 34, and I have to change the dictionary over here. So I will just define the key with the value. Okay, so dict new is my dictionary wherein my age is my key, and 34 is going to be the new value I am setting in this particular age or key. You can see now the new age is this, and I can show you the original dictionary as well. It says that the dictionary has changed from 23 to 34, and this way you can manipulate the dictionaries as well. There are many different things that you can try, like you can get the dictionary's length, and you can get the dictionary's length as, because these are set of values or repeating values or collection of variables. That is the reason why you can use these functions like length, type, and all those, wherein these integer variables, these are single value variables, so you don't get, you can also print out the length of ABC, and it will give us type error, because integer function does not have length object. So it says that because those are single kind of set, so you cannot save multiple things in integer type of fields. So that is the reason why you won't get that particular implementation of Python. So moving forward, we can see now the Boolean values. Boolean values plays a very important role in our coding architecture or coding, because it is the basis of all language, right? The Boolean values, the machine language, the binary language. So Boolean values must consider only what we can say, only true or false or 1 or 0. Those are binary numbers. So you can see Boolean variable is being stored with the value true. If I, so in Python you have to just denote Boolean variables with true or false. So you can define a Boolean with numbers as well, 1 2 3 4. With the 0 we can see the Boolean value is going to change, and that's changed to false. So this way you can define a Boolean as well as hard coding it to true or false. In Python, true and false are considered Boolean fields. And let's go to the set. Set is what I can tell you is, you have to pass set. Let's not do it in here. Set variable. Now we will get set of my name. You can see what it tried to do is like break down this particular Rishikesh in individual strings, and this is a type set. Got it? It does resemble like a dictionary format, but you can see over here there is no values for the key. If you see it closely, you can get the length of the set, as I told you, because it is a group of different types of letters, so you can find out the length of this particular variable. And now what if I pass two things? It says error, because you cannot pass multiple things. It expects any object and it will give you the set. For example, okay, I should not get too far with this. We will cover the list, and then we will look into all these different things and how can we integrate all this together, because in Python we can store multiple variables and values in different type of data structures, and we will look into it once we cover the rest of these things. Okay, so now you can see how the set works. You have to pass set and complex to a function to in order to generate values. By default it does not consider this as a set, it will consider it as a string. And if you see the type of this set, if this way you define it, it says string str. And we will get to the string part right now. But let's not disturb this, and let's execute this, and you can see the type variable set and print set1. So here you can, in Jupyter, this is the way you can get output of any variable, but in order to get output in Python you need to use print statements. And yes, you can get the same results in different format, depends on the way Python interprets and the Jupyter interpretations. So let's keep it as it is and go forward with strings. Now string is nothing but variable defined with names, characters, letters and all that. So I will just define a new string name. So I will just store my name in here, and you can see string is also a set of objects, a set of values, so you can get the length of the string, right? And the type of this is str, as we saw earlier with the case of set variable, set var variable. And now we will, there is nothing much more to it. You can use strings, you can use formatted strings as well. So formatted strings are strings where you can pass a variable as well in this particular thing, like set var, and I will try to print out this. So this is formatted string. You can see my Rushikesh is printed as it is, as well as it added this particular block, and that block contained set variable, set var variable, and it just concatenated these two particular values, right? If I added much more things like my name, you can see it again concatenated the rest of the things at the end. You can not only add this, you can add my name, my age. Okay, yeah. Now one thing to note down here with this error, I will like to point out that my parenthesis in this inverted commas, look at this closely. You have to pass double inverted commas or single inverted commas depending on the way you are using your strings. For example, if I have used this double inverted comma for formatted string, then anything within that should not contain double inverted commas. And in order to use that, you have to use slash to say Python, to tell Python that yes, I'm using double inverted comma. This is necessary or necessity for me, and you can ignore this particular thing while reading that particular string. So this way, now it have accepted or executed without an error, without any errors. And you can see because of using single apostrophe or single inverted commas within double inverted commas, you can do the vice versa as well, and it should work. It yields the same results. So you can see that you should not merge same inverted commas within your formatted string, or anywhere where the strings and integrating or playing with the strings part comes in. And this way you can use string and string formatting to format things. We can do in different way as well, like I will define a new different format as well. You can do a rudimentary method like this, wherein you add things set where plus. Now one thing to note down is like you cannot add variables of different things together. It will give me an error, and I will show that error before I go and tell you the correct method. And now I will add here. So error is like cannot concatenate string variable with set variable. So in order to concatenate, we need to pass in here string variable for that particular set var variable. String means we are converting this variable set var to a string format, and then we are adding it. Right now, once you print out, it will give the same results, right? Wherein the first output was with the age, wherein the new output is without age with the same variable name. So keep this in mind that you have to convert it to the string format whenever we are adding it to the string, wherein in the formatted string method we remove that hassle altogether, and you can add wherever the wherever you want particular variable, wherein you add here more chances of getting errors, because you have to keep eye on positive sign, plus sign, and convert all this into the string. And see, you always have to keep eye on this particular variable, whether it is string variable or different. So you can concatenate string variable within string. So you see Rishikesh, and then again that same variable plus Golab. So this way you can concatenate different things altogether. But the best way I would suggest is to follow this method. And there is one more thing. Let's remove this. And this is called multi-line formatting. So what is multi-line formatting? Consider there is string which is too long and it doesn't fit within your what in a one line, and you want output in multiple lines or something. So you will write down in this format. You can add multiple things as well here. Just add is coding, okay, at age of. So I will show you. So this is the way how it gave me an output, okay, because I have added multi-line output to it. So /n tells you that particular string has a new line over there. I don't know why it is not giving me a new line over here, but yes, once you print this, then I guess you get it into a new line, because I told you the way Jupyter interacts and handles output is different from the way Python handles the output. Actual Python implementation would be this, wherein you get a new line over from this particular point and from here as well. So this way you format what you can say, a string in such a way that the way you want in your code, right? So this is multi-line formatting. A multi-line, you can remove this altogether. Passing three inverted commas tells that it is a multi-line code, a multi-line string, and it will give the same error, same output. And this is how you can manipulate with string. right? There are many things to manipulate with strings, like to access the first element or the first digit, first position of the string. So for example, I want the first position of the string. This is slicing and indexing. This we will look in much more detailed way in further videos, but right now I will just give insight for that. You don't have to understand how it's working, because I will definitely going to explain it in the later videos. Right now just understand this is string indexing. So you're just getting index or the value of first position, that is 0, because Python indexing works with 0. 0 will always be the starting index of that particular string, or whatever the indexing methods you're using in Python. So 0 and colon means that you're going to print everything, and so on and so forth. So we will look this in detail later on. Right now we are just covering up this data types in Python, right? So list is next on our radar. So what is list? So list is nothing but collection of objects. For example, list, dictionary, and sets are nothing but collection of objects. So you can pass objects as well in this. We will look at to it in later on. Look into it later on. Right now we will just define and focus on list. So what is list? So we will define a list of car list. So yeah, this is empty list, like the way we defined empty dictionary over here. So getting output of list is nothing but empty, and type for that nothing but list, right? Great. So now we will add value to it. Like this is the way you will add value to list. No, not this way. So let's define a list with cars like Tesla, Tata, BMW. Okay, for now we will just print out this car list. And you can see as of now we have stored all these elements with string variables, right? With this we can also save what? Our dictionary. You can do that definitely, and it will show you the dictionary object over here. You can also save set var, and it will also save the set of that particular variable, whatever that variable is, object in short. You can almost pretty much save anything. We can see ABC as well here. So ABC was the first variable we defined today. And yeah, this is the way list holds all the different data types all together, and you can just print out here whatever that is available in list, and you can access these variables as well. Now how do you want to access for example dict new? Now in list we don't have keys, so keys are unique in dictionary, right? Whereas in list there is nothing unique. You can say Tesla again, right? After this point you want to say yeah, it is Tesla again, so it will save Tesla multiple times, right? So in list it's on you what you want to save and how you want to save, but to retrieve data from the list you have to do multiple operations. Means you have to use indexing, what we have looked for string indexing. So how could I get first element of the list? Is nothing but index, nothing but with the index 0. So you can see Tesla was our first object, right? The first element of that list, and the last element we can access with the negative sign, -1. -1 means the last object, okay? -2 means second last object. so and so forth. You understand that the method, right? So what I'm trying to print is like everything but the last object, but last two object. Okay, everything but last two objects. Now if I use -2 or any digit bit before this semicolon, then it says that you start from this particular index and end till the end. Okay, means if you don't define anything after that, it will consider that you are expecting the results till the end of that particular list. But in case if I wrote over here I want the elements from position or index number 3, sorry 2, but in Python it considers 3 because of 0 index, and 5, then it will just give me all the values between this particular between. I'm asking between because it starts from here and ends before 5. It won't give the element of fifth. So what is the fifth element of this list? We don't have, sorry, my bad, we do have 1 2 3, that means ABC in this particular location, but at fifth index. But you can see 1 2 3 is not included in this list because what it says that it will start from index 2. Index 2, you can see in index 2 you will get the BMW. It starts from BMW but it ends before the index 5, means it ends before 5, that is till the fourth element, fourth indexed element. Okay, so fourth index element is set val. The set val is going to be r, the last variable or the last value in this output. So this way. Okay, so this is the way you can slice. So you can google this, what is slicing and not. If I don't give any starting and ending point, it will give me the all output. Okay, and consider that I don't want last element, so it will just ignore the Tesla which we have defined, so and so forth. If you just give the index, simple index, it will get the element 1, and if you told him that start with the index element 1, then it will just give you the outputs from Tata till the end of this particular list. This is how the list works. Okay, so as I told you, list sets, I, I, I can't, I have to validate that. I guess so. Let's begin with let's start with the set part. So as I told you earlier, you can save different objects within the list and dictionary, but you cannot save that object within set. For example, we will try to get set in new variable, new var named variable, and try to save list car, set of list car within new variable, and it will give me error. So I will pass this as a list and it will give me unhashable type list. So I will try to pass only this particular string. Okay, and it will take it. Whereas if I define a new list and I pass this new list here, it gives same error, unhashable list, because you're passing list within list. And if you just pass list, it will give you output that is new variable. Correct? So this will give, so I have explained how to define set and all, but do you know what is set? So set is actually nothing but it will just yield the unique output of that particular list. Means it will find out the unique of that particular value sets. So I will just define Tesla again, and I will define it multiple times. so that our set, you can see the output in the set, that you can see the Tesla is only output once, and now I don't know, is this, and so yeah, this way you can convert set output to a list. Set is nothing but getting unique values out of entire set. Yes, that is what set means. And you can definitely write this within one line, and it will also yield same result. Let's try to do to list. It's not there, so yeah, this is possible in pandas. So we'll get to that in new next videos. And yes, I will tell you how to define a dictionary with objects. So now dict new is what it is. So you will define a new obj named key, and you will try to save list within this particular obj, and it will definitely store new list within that obj object, right? You can even pass this. The list car is our dictionary with, I don't think so it will accept the nested variables, but let's see. And it did accepted its own values. So list of list, dictionary is defined with this particular thing. So let's try to get a object out of it, and you'll see that it's nothing but let's get the first value of the object. It's nothing but that. So which element is this? Okay, the output is concatenated for this. Let's get output of this. So which element is this? 0 1 2 3. So I will just get output of 3, and it will give me the object which we have defined, and it is nested nested in such a way that you can just get again and again. So if I pass obj, it will give me same thing. It is nested. You can, it is for nested for infinite loop. For example, if I pass this object again, it will give me the same output. Sorry. Because it is nested, you are trying to save dictionary within a dictionary. So it is referring to itself and nothing else. Yeah. So this way you can store objects within dictionary as well, and in list as well. So list and dictionaries are two handy things that we use regularly in Python while coding, while because these are the data types that holds any kind of object, and you can use dictionaries and list to handle those. Dictionaries are the name based key value based pairs, wherein list you don't have such luxury and you have to store everything in a sequence. So mostly lists are used in sequencing and storing the sequence or the range or the simple one directional one dimensional values. Okay, and now next we will look at tuples. So one unique thing about tuple is nothing but you cannot change tuples once you define it. Okay, so how you define tuple? So this is incorrect way to define tuple. Actually, tuple is nothing but anything you define within parentheses is tuple. Tuple var and you can see the tuples output. So tuple are always defined within round parenthesis, and you can see the type of tuple where it says tuple, and you can convert anything within tuple. Like if you want to convert a list with values 34 to tuple, then I guess it is possible. Let's try this. Yes, you can convert list into tuples. You can pass our legendary list, so we'll pass this new list and see the output. You can see it has successfully passed everything into tuple. You consider the tuple as nothing but list, but in list you can change values, wherein in tuple it is very reason that tuples are defined. Tuples are things that you do not change. The value does not change over the time of or over the course of that particular execution of that code. So for example, now I defined list 1 or tuple 1, tup 1, and I defined with this particular tuple, and I want to get the first element of tuple. Sorry, mistake. So you can just use same indexing as we used in our list uh, logic, and it will also work the same way. I will show you the tuple 1, and we can see the 1 is nothing but Tata. To second position of that particular tuple is nothing but BMW, and to you cannot try to set any value in tuple, and it will give an error because tuple modification is not possible. Whereas you define a new list and you try to change those values, you can definitely change. For example, I want at position 3 Mercedes, maybe Mercedes namers. Okay, my bad. It is a list string, and now you can see new list has changed. You can see position number 3 is been changed from what it was earlier, from Tesla to Mars. Whereas it is not possible in tuples to change or manipulate these things. You can try to, I don't know exactly how, but you can, I guess, define tuple 1 with tuple 1, tuple new, tuple with experiment. Okay, tuple with experiment, tuple. And here you can pass object. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. So tuple does saves dictionary's name or the keys of that particular dictionary. So yes, so this is how tuple works. You can see you cannot change or modify the tuple once you define that. Yes, one more thing to note down in list is that you can add or remove list elements, like list what it is, list car. So this is what list car is. So I am trying to add one more element to that, and it will add or append at the end. Append Tesla Roadster. Sorry. So it will not do nothing but add Roadster at the end of the list. So this is the way we can add. We can remove also, and it removed the Roadster from that particular thing. And you see Tesla is been dropped. Now one thing to note down, that Tesla were multiple means we defined multiple times the Tesla. So what it did over here is that it removed the first index of the Tesla. Now if I execute this particular thing again, it will remove the second indexing position of second index of that particular list. For example, if you have values like 1 2 3 2 3 2 3 2 3 and 4 5 and then 2 3, so once you remove 2 3, it will remove the first element. Again you remove 2 3, it will remove this element, so on and so forth. So whenever the remove function is executed over the list, it removes the first element of that particular list. So this way you can remove values from the list, and it will always definitely remove the first element which matches your particular query. That means you want to remove Tesla, it will try to parse or navigate through this list, and as soon as it gets Tesla or whatever thing that matches your string, it will remove that and keep everything as it is. Remove works this way. There are many more operations on list that we will look into the net later on, and this is what you get. This is what you generally have in data types in Python. You have numerical values, what you have seen in the beginning of this today's tutorial, and dictionary, boolean, set, sequence type and all. So mainly we normally we use integer, float. Nobody try uses complex number until and unless you're a scientist who is trying to do complex calculations. What is been used at maximum level, that is I'm giving, that is what I'm trying to give an overview of. So numeric, in numeric you can get integer, floats, dictionary, boolean is a very important parameter. uh, Set is somewhat when you want to get unique values out of list, that is the most time you use set. And there are many operations in set as well, like set intersection, set differences. So you will try to get difference between two different sets, that we would look it into later videos. These are just basics as of now. And sequence kind of means like collection data types like string, list, tuples. These all collect things, so you can get the length, and you can perform multiple inbuilt Python functions on these particular variables or data types. Whereas integer, float are nothing but single value variables, integer, float and boolean. Dictionary is also collection of values. Those are key pairs, that is key value, so on and so forth. To recap, this is what we have learned today, and I will try to provide this entire Jupyter notebook, and we will look to the advanced data types in next lecture and next video. So thank you.